Hello, this is Ryan from Just Fire, Just Do It Coaching, and today's topic I want to talk about negotiation. And the reason I want to talk about negotiation today is because I've been dealing at a car dealership for the last like 4 days now. I've been there 4 times, so it's probably been more than 4 days. I started before the holiday break, so we're probably going on a little over a week now. Negotiation. Now, as someone who knows what they want and know they could get the price, I'm not unrealistic. The negotiation process at a car dealership can be wearing on somebody, and I believe the reason that to be is at some point you just kind of throw up your arms and like, here's the deal. I'll meet you somewhere in between, and they get what they want, which is profit, and you get what you want, which is a car at a reasonable price. Well, negotiation isn't about you getting what you want at a reasonable price. It's about you getting what you want at your price. So, after much negotiation, I came within $10 per payment of what my wife wanted on her car. I'll give you a little background on this, and I'll tell you what the deal was. My wife went to the Kia, the car manufacturer Kia factory in southern Georgia, and saw how the cars were produced. She was absolutely fascinated by this process. In doing so, my wife's very thorough, and she went and looked into the company and didn't realize how, one, affordable their cars, how reliable their cars are, and how much this company is really growing and up and coming. And she was impressed by everything that she saw. So she's like, why don't we purchase a Kia? As we were thinking about purchasing some new cars. Now, on her end, she had an older SUV, so we were looking at the Sorento for her, and her car payments are almost up. And she was like, you know what? I said, listen, if we could trade in keys and get the same car payment for a brand new car. We're used to the car payment anyway, but now you're getting a brand new car. We don't have to worry about tires, which were coming up, 100,000 mile checkup, which was coming up, just the normal wear and tear and the things that are going to happen after 100,000 mile once the warranty was gone. Plus, she still had some of these payments because of the last deal she constructed. Let's not go into that negotiation. Let's just say that there were things that needed to, we needed to get rid of the car and get into a new car. So after 3 days of negotiation, and when my wife went to the Kia plant, they gave us a friends and family discount that we weren't supposed to present until we got our number, and then they would give us additional percentage off for being friends and family for have gone on this tour. So after 3 days of negotiation, we get within $10 what my wife's comfort zone was on a car that she was comfortable with, had what she said she wanted, and so we get there and we close the deal. Now, I'm on board now, and there's a car that I want, and I know there's a price point, and here's the thing. After 3 days of negotiation, day one, they don't know if you're a serious buyer or not. So they're running numbers with you, and they want to check your credit, but you don't want your credit pulled until you're ready to pull the trigger yourself. So we got to a number that was close to where I was comfortable that I could get to the next number, which was the real number, right? After that, I had to leave. Time purposes, I was going on vacation for Thanksgiving. Come back, and I told them I'd come back as soon as I got back in town. I came back, started negotiating further, and couldn't really get anywhere where I wanted to go. It was a new month, there was new deals, factory deal, this, that, and just gave me a bunch of hoopla. So then I pulled the ace out of the sleeve and said, here, I got this friends and family discount on top of what we already negotiated. That should get me to my number. And they were like, oh, we didn't know about this. Oh, this doesn't go with that deal and that deal. I said, listen, the Kia dealership or the Kia plant told me once I negotiate my deal, give this. So your Kia and their Kia, and one's saying one thing and the other one's saying another. I say you just honor the deal if you want to be in integrity with what your company says you're going to do. This is the information I got, so honor it. So they were ready to honor it, but now they didn't want to give me the money on the trade-in that they promised before, and like, we didn't offer you that. And then I pulled out the piece of paper they gave me the day before, probably thinking I didn't have it or forgetting that I took it, and said, "This is the number you want to give me the other day, and now you don't want to give it to me." So this is what I'm saying to you. Have your ducks in a row. Be serious and get to the number you want and are comfortable with that is within reason. Because you can't buy a $30,000 car for a $200 car payment unless you're putting down a whole bunch of money. Mind you, we are putting no money down. We are, getting 0% interest. And so we had the credit and everything. We had leverage because we have good credit and we are willing buyers. So now it comes to my deal. And now I'm like, I'm going to buy a car. Now, I'm a serious buyer. I'm not going to go or budge from my price point. I'm within reason of what the car's worth and how much you can mark it down. I have a friends and family discount. And I just purchased the car. So you've already ran my credit. I'm a serious buyer. Don't waste my time. So I tell them what I want. I tell them the price point I want on the car I want. And in my mind, I don't know this to be factual, but in my mind, I know there's enough wiggle room for them to get close to my number. And my price point for me was $350 payment, $350 payment. Why? Doesn't really matter. I'm not a car person, and I don't want to pay a lot of money for a car. That's why I'm going to Kia and not BMW, because it doesn't matter to me. I need point A to point B, safe for me and my son and my wife, and good gas mileage, right? And I know it's within reason on the car I chose. So I tell him this because I don't want the negotiations to go long. Like, if you could do it, do it. If you can't, don't waste my time. He comes back to me with a $432 car payment. This is the best deal we could give you. Based on your discount from the plant, based on we're giving you this manufacturer pricing as opposed to, the MSRP. I'm like, I literally took the piece of paper, ripped it in half, and walked. I said, you just wasted my time. So then I come home and I'm like, let me do a little bit more research. And I didn't do this on my wife's car, but now that I've done it, I'm good. I went to a place called TrueCar.com. And you basically put in the car you want, and they're going to give you the dealers that will give it to you at the best possible price in the area. So now, after crunching those numbers, after I submitted my information, got a call from a dealer, and now I have the true numbers, which got me exactly to a $355 payment, which I knew was possible, right? It's not $350, but it's $355. I could swing the other $5 to get the car I want. They wanted to put me in a car with no navigation, no sunroof, no bells and whistles, basically a bare bones car for $350. I walked, we talked. He's like, well, this is the car I could get you in at $350 because he wanted my business. Well, now I know factually that he can get me in the car I want at my price point. They're just not going to make a lot of money, which isn't my problem. That's what negotiation's all about, right? What's right for you, the consumer, not necessarily what's right for them. Because they're going to get enough consumers that go and overpay for cars that they don't have to worry about the couple deals like me that need to get cars off the lot. Every aspect, retail, anything, takes losses on certain things. When you go to Macy's and you see a 75% off sale, they're taking a loss on some of that stuff. Maybe not a huge loss, but they're still taking a loss. But they had enough people buy at the 100% price point that it doesn't matter. And the same thing here with a car. It's just a bigger purchase, and we're the ones who have to endure the payments for however long those payments are. So I feel much more content negotiating. Now, this is what I said to him. I said, listen, I'm going to give you one last shot to earn my business on a second car. You give me your rock bottom price. If I like it, I probably would have paid $375. If I like it, I'll buy. But don't waste any more of my time. He's like, Mr. Roy, I can't do it. So, here's my other thing. I can go in today because my wife didn't receive the car she wanted. We're in a loaner because they didn't have the color she wanted. I could pull that deal off the table and go to the dealership down the road and actually save about $10 a payment if my calculations are right on what we negotiated with my wife's car. And I could go and get my car, which would be a savings of like $77 per payment. So we're talking $100 a month over the next 5 years, which is $6,000 savings because I just take my business down the road to somebody else. I don't know about you guys, but $6,000 is a nice vacation. $6,000 is an IRA contribution for the year. $6,000 is $500 a month for a year. We're doing it over 5 years. But at the end of the day, it is $100 a month more in our pockets because we did our research and did our negotiations properly, even though I did it maybe a day late. But I tell you, on my wife's deal, we actually got down pretty close. Like I said, about $10 difference, which I'm not overly concerned about. Here's the challenge for the dealership. I bought a Kia. Wasn't necessarily on the radar. They actually just called me in the middle of making the first session of this video. I was making one and the phone rang, and it was actually Kia asking me about how the sales guy was, and right now I'm not happy with him. Now I know he gets bonuses based on my feedback, right? And I said, listen, I'm not in a position right now to answer these questions, so call me back at some later date. I like the kid who sold me the car, but I don't like what happened at the end when I told him exactly what I wanted after buying a car from him, trying to buy a second car, and he tried to shaft me for, what my perceived $82 a payment per month, which turns into, if you multiply that out, I'm going to do the math for you really quickly. If you multiply that out on the payments I was going to do, because I actually can do 72 months at 0% interest, so times 82. He tried to shaft me for $5,904 on my car alone, and that doesn't sit well in my belly. So to give feedback to him and not allow him to get his bonus based on the fact that he's doing his job, that's what they do, but I don't want it done to a loyal customer. So that's my challenge as to how I want to approach that, but that's my challenge. So here's the thing, guys. Know what you want. Research it enough. Know in your head or in your mind, I've bought enough cars to kind of know how much leeway there are in them. And I knew there was enough leeway to get to my price point. And once I went to truecars.com, it's actually in black and white for me from another dealership saying this is what we can do for you. I'm also going to present them with that additional bonus coupon, which is a nice little nugget. It's a few $100. It's nothing major, but everything counts. And I'm going to get right within my range for the car I want and be done with it. And there was no negotiation. I put my address, name, and phone number into a computer, and it spit out who's willing to give me the best deal. And I gave me 3 different dealerships. The funny thing is, the dealership I went to is the closest one to my house, and it's not even on the list, which means I went to the dealership that doesn't want to deal in this TrueCar program, which means they're probably making the most money because they're not giving any major discounts. So that's my story on negotiation. Know your product. Fight for what you want. I mean, I've gone in 4 times now. I have to go in a 5th time, decide whether or not I want to take my wife's car off the table because it's not a complete deal and go somewhere else with my business. And then my other dilemma is, do I give them the opportunity to come whole on the other deal? Like, do I give you the opportunity after you just try to screw me to sell a car in your lot? Or do I just go to the guy who was up front with me right away? I'm probably going to go down the road just simply because how I was treated after you already took my money on one car and then you tried to shaft me again. And that's just business. If you don't treat me well as a customer, why should I give you my business? If the other guy down the road isn't making any money, he wouldn't be doing the deal. He's making money. You just wanted a fat deal. And in the meantime, you upset a paid customer. Saying this out loud is actually making me want to take the deal off the board with my wife's car and go down the road. That's what it's making me do. Give me some feedback, guys. Tell me what you think. Should I take the car deal off the table and go somewhere else with my business, or should I just stay and take my business down the road? It's a 2-car deal down the road for that guy, or a 1-car deal with my car. You tell me. Ryan from Justify or Just Do It Coach, and have an amazing day.